ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Financial Literacy. I want us to continue with our discussion about financial independence. We have suggested there are 5 areas to be covered. That is earnings, expenditure, savings, loaning, and eventually investments. I want us to continue with the series, and today the second part is about expenditure. Expenditure, you have earned money, be it from business, be it from employment, you want to spend this money. How do you spend this money? Before we come to the way we shall spend this money, we shall learn or appreciate that in expenditure, we have what we call wants and needs. Needs are those things that are essential for survival: food, shelter, clothing, and education. I'll give an example of that motorcycle rider who is in a business. They need a helmet to be able to survive in the motorcycle industry. You need proteins to be able to survive. Wants, on the other side, are things that make our lives better or things that spice up our lives. It makes things better for us, but you do not have to have it in order to survive. For example, for that motorcycle rider, they may want a very good music system. That will make their work very easy as they are doing. But it is not a must for them to have a music system. They can still operate without the music system. When we come to proteins, I've told you that the body needs proteins. But what proteins are these? Are we talking about beans or cowpeas or bacon or sausages? You may find that sausages, in as much as they are proteins, they are wants. You may have other cheaper sources of proteins and still be able to do what? To survive. For us to be able to spend, there is a cardinal rule that is called 50-30-20. 50% of your income should be spent on needs. 30% of your income should be spent on wants, and 20% of your income should be spent on savings or loan repayments. Now, expenditure will be categorized in 3 areas. We have what we call revenue and capital expenditure. That is the first one. Any expense that is going to be spent in a period of a year or less is classified as a revenue expenditure. Things like rent, things like food, these are revenue expenditures. They keep on recurring. Capital expenditure is an expenditure that you are going to use or to cover it over a long period, mostly more than 1 year. You want to buy a machine so that you can start farming business. That machine will be classified as a capital expenditure. You want to go back to school, acquire a diploma or a degree, maybe diploma for 3 years, degree for 4 years, that will be classified as a capital expenditure. Expenditure can also be classified as fixed or variable. Fixed expenditure is that expense that remains the same regardless of the volume of production. Take, for example, in a building, there is that security guard who sits at the entrance. or maybe before you get to the lifts and so on. Maybe there are two security guards. There is the lady and there is the man security guard. If the building is 10 floors, it doesn't matter whether it is only one floor that is occupied or two floors or how many floors. That expense for the security guard still remains the same. It doesn't matter the number of occupants in that building. The next is variable expenditure. Is that expenditure that depends on the volume of production. Things like sales commission, if you are paying your marketers a commission, the commission is based on the volume of sales. If you are having people who are assisting you, maybe pick coffee, and you pay them maybe per 15 kg or 20 kg bucket, you say maybe a bucket of 20 kg you pay 70 bob. The number of buckets that this person will pick will be, if they pick more, it will mean you will pay more. The last category of expenditure, we have planned and unplanned expenditure. Remember, sometimes we make plans or we make arrangements. I want to go back to school next year. I want to start this business this period. If you have expenditure that is already pre-planned or pre-arranged, that one will be classified as a planned expenditure. There is also some expenditure that is just happens. You have a sick patient. This could be your relatives or so on. The machines for the organization without warning have failed. You need 100,000 to replace that machine or to repair that machine. That one we call it unplanned expenditure. And remember, all these expenses must be incurred. We need to be keen on how we spend our money, because this will lead us to the next level of our training, that is savings. I wish to stop at that. Should you have any question, please feel free to engage me. Let's keep on learning. Wish you well.